The laughter in the studio cut off in an instant. One moment, Jesse Eisenberg was doing what audiences expect him to do, joking, deflecting, letting his jittery wit carry the conversation. And the next, the 42-year-old actor looked into the camera and calmly announced that in 6 weeks, he would walk into a hospital and let surgeons remove one of his kidneys for a person he has never met. The crowd's reaction swung from amusement to stunned silence, and even the host, Craig Melvin, needed a second to understand that Eisenberg was not setting up a bit, but describing a real scheduled operation that could change a stranger's life forever. Jesse Eisenberg was on the Today Show to promote his latest film, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Another slick, twist-heavy entry in a career that has made him famous for playing hyper-verbal, anxious geniuses. Instead, he ended up revealing a twist about himself, that he has agreed to become what transplant specialists call an altruistic, or non-directed kidney donor, someone who volunteers to undergo major surgery not for a relative or a friend, but for a complete stranger whose name and face he may never know. It is the kind of decision most people would agonize over in private, if they considered it at all, yet Eisenberg described it almost casually, as though he had finally followed through on an idea that had been quietly sitting in the back of his mind for years. When Craig Melvin pressed him to confirm what he had just said, Jesse Eisenberg did not soften or walk it back. Yes, he told the audience it was correct. He is scheduled to donate his kidney in about 6 weeks, with the surgery planned for mid-December. Melvin called the decision amazing and pointed out that this went far beyond the blood donation drive that first brought Eisenberg into conversation with the show. The actor simply nodded and admitted that somewhere along the way he had caught the donation bug, and that he feels an odd, almost inexplicable enthusiasm for the idea of handing over a piece of his own body so that a stranger's failing organ can be replaced. For Jesse Eisenberg, the path to that moment on live television started not in an operating room, but at a summer blood drive tied to the same show, now amplifying his story. He has become a regular blood donor, and he joked that he has so much blood he feels like he should spill it, a line he delivered with the same awkward charm that has defined his screen persona since The Social Network. That joke, though, hid something more serious. Repeated trips to donate blood had forced him to think about what else he could give, what other quietly life-saving act might be within reach for someone healthy, insured, and informed. In interviews after the Today appearance, Eisenberg tried to explain the logic that sits behind what seems at first like an extreme decision. He called the surgery essentially low risk and incredibly necessary, framing kidney donation not as a heroic act but as something close to a rational choice for people who are medically eligible and have the time and support to recover. In his view, once a person understands that they can live a normal life with one kidney and that thousands of people are waiting for transplants, the question shifts from why would you do this to why wouldn't you if you can. The mechanics of what Jesse Eisenberg is signing up for are both simple and surreal. In an altruistic donation, the donor is not matched to a sibling, parent, or partner, but to whoever needs a kidney and happens to be compatible. He has described it like a chain. Imagine that someone in one city needs a kidney, but there would be donor is not a match, while Eisenberg is. In that case, his kidney can go to that patient, and the original donor can then be paired with someone else, creating a ripple effect where one person's choice can trigger multiple transplants and pull several people off waiting lists. What struck many viewers is how little drama Jesse Eisenberg tried to attach to his own sacrifice. He did not wrap the story in grand moral declarations or celebrity branding. Instead, he insisted that kidney donation is so needed, and that once people understand the data and the risks, it might start to look like a no-brainer for more potential donors. At the same time, his demeanor, nervy, self-deprecating, almost embarrassed, made the revelation feel raw and unscripted, as if he had accidentally said something out loud that was meant to stay between him, his doctors, and a few close confidants. Yet the idea did not come out of nowhere. Eisenberg has said that kidney donation first crossed his mind a decade earlier when he reached out to an organization to ask about volunteering as a donor and never heard back. Life went on, careers accelerated, films were made, and the thought faded into the background, until that blood drive and the Today partnership brought him back into direct contact with the world of medical need. This time, the process did not stall. This time, Jesse Eisenberg followed through, went through screening, and landed on a surgery date that he is now talking about on national television. His decision lands in a culture that is accustomed to celebrities attaching their names to charities, fundraisers, and awareness campaigns, but much less used to them quietly volunteering their organs. The contrast is striking. The same industry that obsesses over diet cleanses, cosmetic procedures, and body image is now watching an Oscar-nominated actor choose to give up a healthy organ on the grounds that the risk to him is tiny compared with the upside for someone else. In that sense, Eisenberg's announcement forces an uncomfortable question into the open. If someone with his resources, doctors, and access believes this is safe enough, what excuse do the rest of us have for never considering it? Online, reactions split quickly into admiration, skepticism, and something more complicated. Some people hailed Jesse Eisenberg as a genuine altruist, someone using his health and privilege to do something that cannot be reduced to a hashtag or a one-night fundraiser. Others wondered why he chose to disclose the decision on a promotional media tour, questioning whether even the purest motives can ever be disentangled from publicity in a world where every story becomes part of a personal brand. And then there were those caught in the middle, moved by the gesture, but unsettled by the idea of holding up one rare act of bodily sacrifice as an implicit moral standard for everyone else. Jesse Eisenberg's own framing complicates those debates. He does not sound like a man trying to sculpt a sainthood narrative. He sounds like someone who has done the math and decided that the discomfort and risk are outweighed by the lives saved, and who genuinely hopes that, over time, others might reach the same conclusion. When he calls the choice a no-brainer, he is not minimizing the surgery, but reframing it as something that might one day feel as normal as blood donation once did. A radical idea now that could become, in his imagination, a more common act of generosity in the future. At the same time, there is no escaping the fact that Jesse Eisenberg is not an anonymous donor. He is the face of movies like The Social Network and Zombieland, a person whose nervous cadence and sharp intelligence are instantly recognizable to millions. His kidney will be removed in a hospital where staff will know exactly whose charts they are looking at, and his story will influence how countless viewers think about organ donation, for better or worse. That visibility carries both power and responsibility. If the procedure goes well and he returns to work, he becomes a walking, talking advertisement for the safety and impact of living donation. If there are complications, the narrative could swing in the other direction. Even as he lays out his medical plans, Eisenberg is careful not to turn himself into the center of a morality tale. He insists that he simply has the time and desire to make this contribution, and that others need to make their own informed decisions with their doctors, their families, and their consciences. But by choosing to talk about the surgery now before it happens, he invites the public into an uneasy waiting period. 6 weeks in which fans, critics, and total strangers will know that Jesse Eisenberg is walking around with an invisible countdown ticking inside him, headed not toward a premiere or an award show, but toward an operating table. In the end, what makes this story so unsettling and so captivating is not just the medical fact that a celebrity is giving away a kidney. It is the way Jesse Eisenberg has quietly flipped the script on what people expect a famous person to do with their platform and their body. Instead of another confession about burnout, image, or reinvention, he has offered a kind of challenge hidden inside a soft voice. If this is truly as low risk and necessary as he says, then maybe the rest of us, famous or not, are the ones who have been acting strangely all along.